I mean, obviously not just the score, too. I thought the way the game was unfolding in the first period, though, we did a lot of things that we hadn't been doing for about 3 weeks. And there was way more puck support. There was way more pace to our game, way more structure in our game. And, you know, when you do that, you're going to have the puck more and sustain some zone time and, you know, give yourself an opportunity. And we were opportunistic in the first period for sure. And, it was a step in the right direction. Certainly, we need to learn how to manage leads and things of that nature, but since we haven't had many of them, hopefully we can continue to learn through experience.
You're about 11, 12 minutes into a scoreless game. I'm sure you felt good about your start, and then Panarin makes an individual play there to give you the lead. How important, what just was that to give you the reward for that?
You know, where we were at mentally, it was a big deal to get the first goal. You know, and it certainly helps to not get 2 penalties in the first 10 minutes. It gives you a chance to get some rhythm into the game and guys getting out there. And so that certainly was part of the equation the last 2 games. You know, you put yourself behind the 8 ball and there's no rhythm and, you know, you have those type of starts. So, you know, to get that first goal energized the bench even more so because, listen, they're watching too, and they see what's going on. And I think you could feel a little bit more momentum as the game was going on because we got off to a decent start, and we were doing the things I thought that we didn't practice yesterday. And, you know, we were rewarded by being opportunistic for the goals we got. And, you know, it was, like I said, it was a good step in the right direction.
You talked last game about the guys needed to step up and compete. Tonight it seemed like every battle in the corner you guys won. And also in the locker room, every guy talked about the meetings yesterday and the communication. How important were those 2 factors in tonight's win?
I mean, I give our leaders a ton of credit. They took the bull by the horns. There certainly was some heated discussions yesterday, and they all looked in the mirror and realized what we needed to do. And you know, you can have all the meetings you want, but you got to apply it. And I thought the practice was as good a practice as we had in a while. There was a great mental and physical purpose to the practice, and it was only for a half hour, but I think when that practice ended, they felt good. They felt good about the things that we had worked on the last half of the practice, and it carried over.
You touched on managing leads, but I mean, it never got close. What was the key after you gave up a goal to come back? I mean, that, you know, late goal obviously happened, and then the 3-1 and the 4-2 goals. What was the key to come back and not? A fragile team sometimes can let that fester and be a problem.
Yeah, that is a good sign. You know, we responded anytime they made it. You know, we got it to 4-1, they made it 4-2, we made it 5-2, and we didn't let it get to 5-3. And I thought that we did the things that we hadn't been doing more often, but I thought we let some of our old habits creep in. Not old habits, talking about 48 hours ago. We let some of those habits creep in, and you know, risk reward as you're playing with a 3-goal lead, it changes. I mean, you're coming to any puck to the middle of the rink. There's got to be a lot more certainty when you're leading, when you're playing with a 3-goal lead. And I didn't think we did a great job of that, but we did a good enough job of it.
Early in the season, there was a lot of talk about the reliance on the top line for the scoring. Tonight, the scoring really came from the second line, the third line. I mean, the balance that you were looking to achieve in the lineup, were you encouraged by what you saw tonight with some of the moves you made before the game?
I was encouraged by a lot of the things tonight, more so from some of the individual performances. I thought a bunch of guys had good nights. They were dialed in. There was a lot more purpose to their game. There was a lot more support throughout all 3 zones. Guy who had the puck had people to pass it to, which hasn't been the case too often over the last 2 weeks. So it wasn't just the lines. I thought a lot of guys came here with a purpose tonight.
So do you attribute most of it to the playing with the urgency, the things you've talked about, more so than you think the line changes?
Yes. But if you want to talk about the line changes, I guess that does have something to do with it. But I was more impressed with some individuals' mental approach to tonight's game.
And obviously Mika's gotten a lot of attention, but the centers behind him, Strome, Howden tonight, what do you think of those guys?
I thought those 2 played very well tonight. Those guys had real strong nights tonight.
No, I was just going to ask about Strome.
Anybody else?
What do you see from D'Angelo tonight? And I know the last 2 games he's been scoring. What do you attribute that increase in scoring from him to?
He's got a ton of offensive instincts. I mean, this is a guy that when the puck is on his stick, I don't think I'm over-exaggerating this. There aren't a lot of guys in this league that have his vision, the way he can find people, his deception, and he's got a great sense on when to jump into the play, and especially from that offensive blue line. So, it's good to see him get rewarded for it.
There's been a lot of talk about number 2 center and, who was going to take that job. I mean, with what he did tonight, I mean, we're a strong fit in that conversation.
I don't think it's just been tonight. I think he's progressively gotten better as the season has gone on. I think his last few games, I think he's one of the few guys that you could say had a pretty good night, or not that bad of a night, the way we had played the last 2 games. So, I like where his game's at, that's for sure.